Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here real quick, talk a little bit about how my artwork just went viral on Facebook. Probably seen it from the thumbnail, and I'm showing probably some clips right now. I guess you can call it fan art, a piece of fan art I did for the show The Chosen. And if you're not familiar with it, it is a TV show that is independently produced, and it's about the life of Christ, life of Jesus and his disciples and people around him. So this is kind of the first of its kind, and the reason why it stood out to me and my wife, and it inspired us. It was kind of a refreshing take on the Gospels that we have heard over and over again, that we've read countless times, but this was kind of a fresh take on it. They do have things in it that are kind of like with books that I've written recently, like the Trials of Samson and Revelations. It deals in the gaps, if you can call it that, kind of like what if scenarios. So what if this disciple was doing this, or like we don't really know what he was doing before Jesus met him, or filling in gaps like that and taking some creative license on issues like that. So their take on it has been really refreshing to a lot of believers who have really been transformed and revigorated, I think is a word people are using by this show. And even people who maybe aren't believers that are just first time hearing about these stories have been really captivated and pulled in by how Dallas and the production has been telling these stories. So this isn't my first piece of art that went viral. I've had various other types of art online that have been trending and I guess you can call it viral on Instagram and Twitter and different places. Well, typically the artwork is sports related, and it involves certain players that maybe shared it, or they liked it, or fan pages that got a hold of it. So this new piece that I did, probably the first piece of art that I did that was faith-based that went viral, because most of the faith-based stuff that I do for my own projects, my own books, are not shared a lot because not a lot of people know about them. So this was kind of the first time something that had to deal with faith really catapulted and kind of got spread to the masses in such a way. So it was interesting. It's something I prayed about before I even did it, because I haven't done fan art for a while. I haven't done something that wasn't either a commission piece or something that wasn't for one of my own personal projects. And I just happened to have like a gap while I was waiting for some edits on a manuscript that I'm working on right now. So I did have a little time, and I prayed about it, and I was like, okay, this is the time when if I could do anything for this project, it'd be now. And it worked out to where I could do this new piece. Really, I mean, I only had like a couple days, threw it together in a few hours, and I mean, I'll show some of the process and how it was created. But yeah, essentially it's meant to look like a movie poster, or a poster that would be if they had movies back in the first century, kind of period appropriate, like a scroll with seal, and approaching it like as if it was a piece of promotion for this show about this rebel from Nazareth, kind of a thing. So what's kind of been happening since the artwork went up, I shared it in a couple of the fan pages for The Chosen on Facebook, and there is some restrictions for what The Chosen actual page on Facebook would allow, and even though it was related to the show, they wouldn't really allow me to post certain things in there. So some of the fan pages were very much about dialogue and about sharing art, about doing like questions and different things between the fans. So this one, I have several of them that have hundreds of likes and hundreds of shares that I had posted this week, but just in, I guess this would have been just over 3 days ago now, it has reached, at the time I'm posting this, it's probably going to be about 500,000, but when I'm recording this, it's right around 400,000 likes, reactions, and different things. So this has definitely done a lot more than my previous types of art that have been mostly sports and other types of things that caught on with fans. But this has definitely resonated with a lot of people, and it seemed to be something that has inspired people to share and talk about it. A lot of people, even in looking at the ratio of thumbs up versus hearts and like the hug or care emoji, you can see that people were going out of their way to like show appreciation. I personally went through hundreds of comments on the artwork just to let them know I appreciate people sharing it. I appreciate their reactions, their responses, all the comments, all the encouraging words and all those things. But also, I didn't really know what God was doing with it when I posted it. Just like I felt like doing something, since I was inspired by the show, something that might inspire or encourage other people by doing this piece. So when I did that and I put it out there and like, hey, this is what I do, this is my offering, this is what I'm putting out there, God. Whoever wants to see it, whoever needs to see it, if it opens up a door or if it just ministers to people, whatever it does, I'm fine with that. So one thing that has already happened is there's an official auction company or organization that they do auctions to raise funds for The Chosen directly, and they do work with them. And they asked me if I wanted to have my artwork in there. So we're in the process, in talks, with getting this piece as part of the auction so that it can go out and actually raise funds for the show, which we're definitely all about supporting. And this was not really done, the piece wasn't done so that I could like sell it myself or personally get gain from it. So this is something where we're glad to pay it forward. We're glad to sew into this production. We're definitely behind it. Can't wait for season 3. If you haven't seen it yet, seasons 1 and 2 are already online. You can watch it on the app. You can watch some of it on YouTube, and all of it is totally free. So I'll keep you posted on what kind of happens with it. Me and my wife, I think we're going to do a podcast about the show in a little bit. So we'll keep you guys posted. I hope you guys like it. Share this and look for the art. If you haven't seen it, I'll put some links below. And I hope you guys are blessed.
1 hour later.
All right, yeah, just one more thing I wanted to mention before I forget. One thing that is important to remember in this video, the numbers aren't what it's about, and videos going viral, I don't really get caught up in the numbers because it's really easy to get caught up in that. But mainly, it's what they represent. So the numbers represent people seeing it, people being exposed to your content, if it's videos, if it's artwork. And with this piece, it was meant to be an inspiration and to reach people and to be a blessing to others. So the more people that get to see it and share it, the more I appreciate that, and that's why it's kind of a big deal. Even with that, I mean, numbers are relative, and I've had posts that had 5 people like it. I've had posts where 1,000 people like it. Now that this is like 500,000 people, I don't want to get into a place where I expect that those numbers are always going to be the same, or that if it's not that high, that it's not as important or not as successful. And that's the only thing I wanted to add. Really, it's not about the numbers, it's whatever God does with it. And like, I had no expectations for this. I prayed about it. Like, God, if you want a lot of people to see it, if you just want 1 or 2 specific people to see it, it's in your hands. And so with that, that's kind of what I wanted to leave you guys with. It's important that you're doing it for the right reason, and that it gets to the right people, I guess. And so don't get caught up in numbers, don't get into comparison games. So it makes it clear, and that's helpful for you guys out there. All right, take it easy.